we're recording and everything like that. Okay, so you guys are good to go. I'm gonna jump right into this. You guys ready?
Let's
Yep.
do it.
All right. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Biz Talk for TikTok. Today on the show, I have two guests from a TikTok marketing agency. That's what it's called, actually. I have Joe Lowinger and Sam Kaufman from the TikTok Marketing Agency. They are both co-founders of this agency, and they are the first agency to focus only on TikTok marketing for brands and creators. What is really going to be fun about this episode is we're going to dive into talking about what does an agency actually do, especially when working with TikTok. They also have a special treat for us to bring up 9 creative tips to help make your TikTok ads better. But what's cool about these tips is they're also, really good for the creative side that you could take away to become a better content creator for yourself. So, Sam and Joel, welcome to Biz Talk for TikTok.
We're excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Kyle.
Absolutely. So, what's really fun is I always like to ask my guests because, TikTok is still I mean, it's mainstream now. Everybody's talking about it, but you guys got involved, I'm sure, when TikTok was still being talked about and just getting out there and people had all these misconceptions about it. And then you saw the beneficial factors and wanted to start an agency because you were the first one of your kind to be able to do this. So I want to know a little bit more of your story. How do you even get into this situation to be able to kick off your agency?
So we have a little bit of a funny story, actually. Joel and I both have backgrounds in the digital marketing space and had started agents of our own, both focusing on digital marketing, a little different sides of each. And Joel and I also are in the same comedy group. And we have a group called Human Fountains, and we spit water. So you got to think of the Bellagio Fountains meets the Blue Man Group, essentially.
Interesting. Okay.
And we were doing shows and everything in Los Angeles and had some, traction there. This is all just alongside our day jobs. And then COVID hit, and we might have the most COVID unfriendly show in the world. Just with all the water spitting and everything that's going on, there's a lot that happens in that show. You can imagine COVID hits, the show's kaput for a little bit. Theater in general is not happening.
Yeah.
And so we realized, well, Human Fountains really can't do anything about it right now. Why don't we jump on TikTok and see what this is like there? And we do that. And the biggest mistake that we made was not getting on TikTok sooner. We just, really excelled there. It was really a good platform for us and really fast got to understand what TikTok was, what people were doing there. This was really before the big leap of people there. And we also saw, just from our digital marketing backgrounds, brands had no idea what they were doing at the time.
Yeah.
They were treating it like it was just an extension of Instagram.
And I would say they still are doing that. It's
yeah, exactly.
Hasn't changed.
So we decided, okay, there's a big opportunity here. And we started TikTok Marketing Agency to focus solely on helping brands and some creators to leverage the platform. And it's just, we had a very interesting perspective since we have that digital marketing background, but we've also been creators and are creators on the platform and get both sides of it, which has really been good. And it's just been a whirlwind as brands start to run to TikTok and ask, how can we figure this thing out?
So you guys went from spitting water fountains like Bellagio style to owning a TikTok marketing agency and working with creators and brands and merging those two together to make some serious progress there in that field. So which is so cool. You mentioned something that I think is really such a key takeaway is that you're also a creator on the platform. So you're able to understand best on what is working and what doesn't work. Where some of these brands, I think, a tip for anybody listening in, a lot of them are not participating within either their own content, or the people that are in the position to make these decisions are not creator themselves. So they are using it and thinking of it almost like an extension piece, like you said, of Instagram, and thinking that's what works when it's not at all. So, being a TikTok marketing, like a TikTok focused agency, what does that look like in terms of how you work with brands? Do brands come to you for a strategy? How does it look, and how do brands work with you?
Yeah, so we work with brands in a multitude of ways. We'll help different brands with their entire kind of general organic strategy, whether that's coming up with video ideas, whether that's working with different people to help produce their videos. Then we'll also work with different brands on, more influencer strategies, and that could be pairing them with different influencers to make content for them. It could be, doing just broad influencer campaigns to create general brand awareness. And then the last side that we really do is focus a little bit more on the TikTok advertising strategy. And that could be also in helping them create different videos for ads, working with influencers to create video content that can be used for ads, and then taking those ads and optimizing them to help brands get more leads, get more sales, get more brand awareness. So we really work on all ends of the spectrum when it comes to kind of, working with different brands on TikTok.
Awesome.
And
So
it's
you
an
guys are
exciting
like,
time out there right
yeah.
now. It's really
Oh,
it's really the Wild West in terms of their ad platform is so new compared to the general ad platforms when we're looking at Facebook, Instagram. And
mhm.
because of that, it's a lot less saturated. There's a lot more opportunity. And it's a lot of the clients we're working with are really shifting their budgets away from these more traditional platforms that they have
Yeah,
to TikTok because they're just seeing how well it works for them.
Yeah, and it's also
exactly.
fun just that there's less competition on there right now. So
Mhm.
coming from both our backgrounds of, working on Google ads and Facebook ads and Instagram ads for years, I mean the costs are way lower, and we're really still in that kind of like golden age where there's not a lot of companies doing it. So we see like much better returns on TikTok.
Absolutely. And I think it's really helpful for the smaller businesses out there, because we're seeing, like, from what I even see within the ad display that I'm seeing, it's cool because it's not all Fortune 500 companies that have these big marketing budgets, but you're seeing smaller ads come forward. And even people who are just starting and launching their own small businesses from home are able to tap into this network of advertising, and it's working for them. They're seeing huge returns where now they're able to take their small business and grow it into something bigger than it is. And it's so cool. I love this Wild West, like, that we're in. And it's fun because brands are able to now do a lot more testing. And what I find personally from, being a consumer of TikTok is, and looking at the culture around the, consumers being able to display their own comments and feedback, is that feedback cycle of that these brands are getting quickly on this platform in particular about their brand. So they're able to then tweak the next ad or product, like their next video concept, around the feedback they're getting instantaneously, which is a lot more fun. Whereas like Instagram and stuff is, a lot more picturesque. Video is now becoming really popular in that space. But it was very like ad focused, and it wasn't so creative, where now TikTok and brands being more creative are getting more real feedback from their audience, which I think is so critical for anybody in this space right now to be able to do that. And you mentioned um like TikTok, working with brands on helping them with their own strategy, but also you said, working with influencers. Do you find that brands should be looking to do like a mix of the two? Do you think that works best?
So what's really fun about TikTok is when you're working with influencers, you're really adding to your creative asset library. And in the past, if you wanted to create videos, you'd have to hire a whole production team to, do a shoot for you. And that gets really expensive. And here you have just tons of creators on the platform that you can reach out to that understand how to make a good TikTok video because that's where they are. That's what they're doing. That's where they're spending their time. And they're able to create videos for you that they can post and you can leverage their following. But at the same time, then take those videos and use them as ads So you're really
Yeah,
getting the most mileage out of these videos as possible. And they're much more authentic and not your typical, sell, sell, sell like you see. Um,
exactly.
and we're seeing these just work so much better. And the best type of ads on the platform are the ones that don't seem like ads. So when you have
Yeah.
real people doing it and trying out your products, that's really where we've seen the gold.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the TikTok slogan is "Don't make ads, make TikToks," and I think that is really the revolutionized. Like what we're seeing in the future is everyone's over it. We've been inundated with ads since like technology first started, and just seeing these everywhere we go, literally in our whole society, because we're always on our phone or we're out and about. We're just constantly bombarded with ads, and we're over it. Like we want to see authentic, we want to see human, we want to see people really using the product and really sharing their voice around it. And I agree with you. I think it's so cool that brands are able to work with real creators who understand their audience, which is really, really important. And being able to put that brand messaging or awareness or whatever within the concept that's going to work for their audience to get the best return. And we're seeing it hands down. And that's why I think you're seeing a shift of brands really shifting their marketing dollars into TikTok and where the focus will be. And I think those numbers are just going to continuously go up month after month, which is awesome for people like you and myself who work with creators firsthand. Getting them more ad dollars in their pockets is what's helpful. And same with you. As an agency working with more and more brands is really helpful. So this is really cool. When we're talking about ads right now, so I think it's really important to, give some value back to some of the listeners who are looking to either, do ads or looking to do that in the future. You guys shared on one of your episodes, which I love, and I wanted you to share it with my audience, is sharing some creative tips around how to best go about using ads and what are some things that advertisers can learn from you guys. What are some of your creative tips that you can share?
Perfect. Yeah, happy to run through some tips. So we actually have compiled a list of 9 tips
Awesome.
to keep in mind when you're creating your ads to make them perform better. And actually, 61% of ads on the platform use more than half of these tips.
Okay.
So anybody that's creating video for their ads, we like to just make a checklist and see how many of these you can check off, because the more the better. And a lot of these too won't seem that foreign to people that are making TikTok videos on their own, because just like you said, the best ads seem like ones that aren't ads at all. So you're
Exactly.
asking yourself, what is in a good video? Um, and the first one may seem like a no-brainer, but is not always, especially for people that are just getting on TikTok or thinking it's going to be the same playbook as other platforms. But that one is leveraging the power of sound. And 100% of videos on TikTok use sound. TikTok is a platform that is always sound on, and you don't want to have a silent video. You want to
Yeah.
have talking. You want to have at least music, something to grab their attention. Sound is something that is a way to draw attention, and making sure you're using that and that's also clear is very important.
Hmm. Yeah. And I want to like reiterate too. I work with one of the top sound creators on the platform is Spencer X, who's a beatboxer. And what we found is working with some clients, some of the clients are actually working with him just to generate a unique sound for their advertisement because as we were using it too, some certain sounds that are fun, that are trending, catches our attention and we want to see those videos. So I agree, like sound is so powerful and TikTok has really revolutionized that. So that's a great tip, you guys. What's some more that you have for us?
Yeah, so this is another super valuable tip, and that's to get your key message out early. So a lot of that, what it means is to make sure you captivate your audience within kind of the first 3 seconds of your video, which we generally call the hook. Actually, have a whole episode about it, but starting with something that will capture the viewer, whether it's saying something kind of crazy, saying a stat, but really making sure that in that intro of the video, they're not going to scroll to the next TikTok. And that is really, really essential. And having them watch through the video, having them click through to the website can't really say enough about how important that hook is.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that people fail on the most is because they're so used to having so much more time. Where now is our like our patience and things, our focus is getting less and less. So you have to be quick. You have to be really, really fast with these hooks and stuff. And the ones that I see really are somebody sometimes being a shocking thing in the beginning, like you have to hear this, and you're like, what? I want to hear it, or whatever they want to say. But figuring out what that hook is really, really smart. I agree.
Right. And it's in the first 3 seconds is really your prime time there. If you
Mm,
don't get them hooked in that first 3 seconds, watch time dramatically goes down.
absolutely.
Next one is very relatable, is letting TikTok creators take the lead. And 53% of all TikTok videos with the highest view through rate, which is crucial, are actually made by creators. So that's not brands shooting their own.
Yeah,
That's reaching out to creators and getting them to do it for them. And just like we said, they get TikTok. They know how to make a good video. So you want
exactly.
to hand that off to them and let them take the reins. And that is just such a good playbook and one of our go-tos for brands to get them ads that they can use later on is letting creators take the lead.
Absolutely. I think, if a brand was really good at making their own videos, then they would be viral on their own and have the following on their self, right? But unfortunately, they're really good at either making a product or a business or anything like that. But the creators are they're so smart and so focused on knowing what their audience likes and building that. And so when a brand can let go of some of that control and say, okay, you're the expert at this, we're the expert at this, let's merge together so you can work with your audience and put this in seamlessly. You're right, that's where the conversion comes in. The return on investment is just goes through the roof, and the watch time hours sky high, so that way that video can earn some viral approach on that. And one of a creator that I work with, and she's one of my talent, I just want to use this as an example, is Natalie Rose, who's called Naples on the app. So at NNAPPLES. And she's worked recently with UFC, Detroit Lions, the Indianapolis Colts. And she's worked with like Top Golf, and they're using her because of the way she can inundate these ads so fun that she's racking up sometimes even 20 million views per post, which is insane. And so it's fun to see these brands saying, you know what, we're going to give the creative control to these creators. They know what they're doing. They're the experts. And I think that's really is critical.
And I also think it can be even better than trying to outsource to a, like a video production company that also might not have the same type of experience in making specific TikTok videos. They might
Mm,
be great at making beautiful traditional TV ads, but
exactly.
they still might be really behind the game in creating TikToks. And again, it's just so valuable to work with people that have proven they know exactly what it takes to make good TikToks.
Absolutely. I could not agree more with that.
Um, Moving on to kind of another tip, and that is to ride the latest trends on TikToks when creating your brand videos or TikTok ads. So, for example, if you see something on TikTok that's catching a ton of traction, one example we like to use is stitches are really popular on TikTok, meaning you take part of an existing video and then stitch on your own at the end. And we found that using stitches or even what we call kind of a fake stitch for an ad shows that the brand is relevant. It catches your attention early on, which is something that we were talking about. And it can make an ad feel a lot more like a real TikTok, which is something that's incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. I think the Stitch aspect to TikTok was so smart as well. Like just even as an app as a whole, because people are now able to collaborate with other people or share their opinion within a video, and everyone knows where that source came from is so cool. And I do love, like you said, it really makes it feel native to the platform, and I think that's really important. So when you see if you see an ad that's like has a Stitch feature, it feels like it is a TikTok. It feels like it belongs there. So therefore, people are going to be more interested and want to hear what is this or whatever. And I love that feature for not just brands with like brands can use it for themselves on their own channel to share information. If somebody asked a question or said something interesting in a stitch, they can take that and share their own piece of opinion or their own facts on that situation, which is so cool. It's really
100%.
awesome.
The TikTok has really done a great job in just fostering and giving you tools to foster a community. And
Hmm.
the Stitch, also using people's sounds and everything, it just allows people to interact with each other's videos, comment on people's videos, or literally stitch and make videos, that directly relate to another's video. And the community building we're able to see within people's accounts, but also brands, is unlike any other platform right now. And that is so valuable. I mean, when you get to the core of marketing, people are always trying to sell you things, but when you can actually make communities of people
Hmm.
that listen to you, trust you, that's really where the power is. And TikTok is really just the perfect place to do that.
I could not agree more. It's so fun, and I love seeing all the features roll out all the time. It just makes it more like it's just better and better and better every time for both brands and creators, also consumers as well. So
Right.
it's really awesome.
The next tip we have is to keep your story real and entertaining. So, a couple of mistakes that we see, especially from brands when they first get on, is they've been groomed, they've been trained to sell,
Hmm.
and they are like, here's our product, here's why you should buy it. And that's not why people are on TikTok. People are on TikTok, one, to be entertained. So if you want to show me your product, fine, but make it entertaining. Figure out a
Yeah.
way to do this that's a little out of the box, that is going to make me interested in it, but I'm not going to feel like I'm being sold to.
Hmm.
And the other thing that we love about TikTok is show some personality. This isn't Instagram where everything's all fake and polished. And like,
So
this
true.
is, we like to see the rawness. We like to see your personality. You mess up or stutter on some words, maybe that adds a little bit. Maybe you're a little bit, goofy and strange. People like you so much more for that. Like, show all those qualities that aren't as buttoned up, and allows people to see your brand as more relatable. I think we
Hmm.
have, as brands, a lot of times we think we have to be perfect and everything has to be just buttoned up completely perfectly. And that's not the case on TikTok. People want a brand they can feel like they can have a conversation back and forth with. So
Exactly.
very we when we're creating videos, we want to make sure you keep that in the forefront.
Absolutely. And there's a few brands out there that have really like whoever's in their marketing position or their social media strategy position or whatever have really captivated that because they're taking, like you said, the selling piece away, they're backing off and showing their personality through the brand. Like a great example would be Ryanair. I've not seen Ryanair's account sell anything. They might have put prices like we're the cheapest or whatever, but they do it in such a fun way that captivates their audience in an entertaining way where now their audience is like commenting like crazy, like, yo, come to the US because they're European based, but come to the US. We want to fly with you. And then that's what you want. You want not, to sell a product, sure, that maybe works from time to time, like an old commercial ad, maybe. But now when it's more personal, somebody has like they're going to go out of their way to use that product or brand because they can feel the relatableness of that product or brand within their own life when it's done right, when somebody's sharing that personality behind it, that personal touch, not just being so selling. And you're more going to be like more loyal to a brand as well, that you feel a stronger connection with, that is like versus just a product. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could be using a product, but then there's another one that comes forward that shares their personality, and you really feel some sort of connection to them outside of just the product, but like to their whole brand awareness. And now you're going to be a loyal customer for a long time and tell all your friends about it. And it's really crazy, but it's interesting position for these brands and businesses out there. The marketing position right now is a very interesting spot. I wouldn't necessarily want to be there right now, because it's like with the shift, they have to start figuring out their strategy and figuring out where they're going to go, because this is the future. We're just going to see it more and more. And I'm excited about it, though, to be honest, because I'm over the whole traditional aspect and being able to just shoot on your phone. A lot of these, I think, like you said, these video teams are almost like crap. Like everybody, like our jobs, like everyone can do our job now, because it's true. Like you can just use a green screen filter like Ryanair does and just throws their face, like eyes and mouth on an airplane right there from their office. They don't need a whole team. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, and one really fun thing that brands and businesses can do, especially small businesses, when they're kind of trying to figure out like what's that first TikTok going to be, or how do we go out there. One of the things we tell them is just make a TikTok explaining how you started your business, and it's amazing how well those do. I mean, people
Yes.
genuinely want to hear those stories. I mean, we work with a dating app, and the founders started it because they kind of met through comedy, and they started a dating app centered around this. And one of their best performing TikToks is just them on TikTok explaining exactly how they got started and their background and why they created their app. And I mean, it's such a good place for brands and businesses to kind of get started.
Yeah, and it makes somebody like watching it have some sort of connection in their own life. So maybe they're looking for that love and that story really resonated with them and they're like, "Wow, like this is going to be the app for me now to find that person," versus just like these shitty ads that nobody cares about, that aren't even relatable. They're just like so polished and stuff. You're like, that doesn't look like me at all. But like you said, these real stories of real people will relate to somebody out there, like to all of us in a weird sense, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. So the next tip is something we've kind of talked about quite a bit, but it's to shoot your ads natively for TikTok. So again, just kind of reiterating that you can do it on an iPhone. You definitely have to do it vertically. We can't say enough about that. But
Yep.
yeah, creating your ad just as if you were going out and making a normal TikTok. You don't need a fancy studio, but use your iPhone, make sure you have good light and good sound, and go for it.
Right.
Absolutely. You know what's funny is like when I'm out and about, I pay attention to the way people are holding their phone a lot now. So, a few years ago, a lot of us were filming this way, for more of like a YouTube purpose or even
Right.
Facebook or everything like that, and to capture things. And now I'm paying attention to how many people are now out there when you're filming things like this, because this is the only way I film now. Um, and it's interesting to see. You see a lot of the older generation, which they're all coming to TikTok crazily enough, and a lot of them are becoming content creators themselves. But you do see a lot of people out there still filming like this, where the younger generation is only vertical. Um, so I do find that to be very very interesting, and it really is important to be able to capture and be able to fit that full screen to make it feel native as possible is really important.
Right.
Yeah, with our comedy group, we went through that transition of first shooting like this, then we would
Yeah.
two phones, one like this, and then
Yeah.
over time it was just all like this.
And I think like for repurposing content as well, you have to figure out a way to be able to fill up that screen so it does look native. So like I've talked to a couple of people who are like, I have all this great content from back in the day. I'm like, cool, that's great. But make sure when you do put it in, you do put it in that like 9:16 format. So
Right.
it does fill up the screen so it feels like it's shot within the app, because that's really, really important.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think when we see videos that are horizontal on the platform, one, you think, okay, they don't quite understand TikTok. Two, it kind of gives off a lazy vibe of they couldn't cut this, to take up the full screen. And they're just not, you're given a full screen. Use it. You don't
Yeah,
want to, yeah.
exactly. It's very important.
So the next tip, and this obviously depends on the video and the content type, but is breaking the fourth wall. And we found that actually TikTok gave us a stat that 33%, one third of the ads with the highest view through rate break the fourth wall. So that's directly talking to the person watching, making it more like a conversation. You don't have to make it ad like actually making it authentic and speaking directly to them. And just like you mentioned earlier, a lot of times people see videos and it really relates to them. They're like, oh, I've been going through this, or that's exactly what my experience has been. And when you talk directly to them, you're making eye contact, it feels that much more personal.
Hmm.
And TikTok really does a good job with curating your feed to give you videos that you're interested in.
Hmm.
And so it really does feel like a personal experience once TikTok gets to know you and is feeding you the right videos. And that's just something when you can take advantage of that in the right type of video, you can really excel there.
Absolutely. I think that eye contact thing is one of the most important things is, and I've read a lot of studies on that. When somebody's watching, even though they're watching it and they're not directly in front of you, they feel that sense of they are standing in front of them and they're talking directly to you. So like I do tell some content creators as well, like really make a mark, or some of the older generation. I even said, like, if you need to put a little sticker where the camera is so you can constantly look at it is really important, because um somebody wants to feel connected, and when you meet somebody's eyes, you feel like you're listening into what they have to say. And I think that's where, like we said, there's a lot of shift of going away from the traditional marketing, where typically in commercials they're like talking to somebody else. They're not talking to the TV. They're not talking to their consumers. They're talking within somebody else, or doing something or showing something else, where it's not really connecting. Where, like you said, TikTok has really done well of saying, you can use your phone and talk to somebody, be in their room, be in their household. And that's where you become, these face household names and everything like that. So that's great.
Yeah, no, I think it's also a really fun one as a content creator to do and talk to an audience that's talking to the camera, which is a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So our next tip, and I also think this is a great one for just creating content in general, but that is to put concise and informative text on your videos. And you can do that in the TikTok app. You can do it with other different video editors. But another stat from TikTok is that there's a increase in view through rate by 40% with ads that have text on the screen. So, and you can even kind of think about this anytime you're scrolling through TikTok, you're usually more likely to watch through a whole video if there's some sort of text on there, and it keeps the audience more engaged, gives them something else to look at in addition to the video. So
Yeah.
definitely think about while making ads and TikToks.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great way to like add a call to action in a fun way, to where maybe you're, it's kind of a good way to grasp that audience in that 3 seconds. If you can't get that message across, it's another add-on. So that way, if you say something in the text like you won't believe this or whatever, then somebody's going to want to listen. And people are using text like it almost feels part of the app. There's very few videos where I really see no text features. Even people who are doing normal things now are using it, and that even voice, text mode is being used tons.
Mhm.
It is like, it just feels like it's part of TikTok's culture and language now. And it's really cool. I love that feature.
Absolutely. And there's so many ways to do it. It could be literally dictating what you're saying almost as subtitles, but it also could be hammering in important points or
Hmm.
giving additional
Yes,
information that you didn't touch on because you wanted to keep the video shorter, or
exactly.
directing people to certain areas just to give them a better idea of what you're talking about, or even giving diagram type things
Right.
on that can really, the more you can, we're in a generation where we get so much media, the more we can give them, the more interesting it is. It's not where we
Yeah,
just want to watch a talking head with nothing else anymore.
it's
So the more
true.
we can put on screen, the better.
It's true. Yeah, we're consuming information faster and faster and faster. So the more we can get within one piece of content is really helpful for our brains, because we're just so used to taking all this stuff in. And I love it too, because it's a fast way too. You can use that feature with the text in a really fast way. You could be at your desk and have just standing back and like there's a lot of people that just do the pointing thing, which takes a second to create, literally pointing, and then now you can add your bullet points, like you said. And people like those as well, to a trending sound, showing bullet points to give value to your audience. I've seen those work extremely well for a lot of people as well. So there's so many cool opportunities to use the text feature.
Absolutely. And then our ninth and final tip, which is very important for ads, but also is good to consider when you're making regular TikTok videos as well, is to include a strong call to action or offer at the end. And that is, okay, you've created this whole video for them. Hopefully you've grasped their attention. Now, why did you do that? What step do you want people to take next?
Mm-hmm.
And on ads, you're able to actually add call to action like learn more or shop now. But you can even take that a step further of letting people know what you want them to do. Do you want them to comment with their experience or what they think of this? Do you
Mm-hmm.
want them to go somewhere? Do they want them to think about something? So just giving them a tangible next step is really important. And that's something you want to do on your organic videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
On organic, you don't always want to be selling because people will see right through that.
Right.
But what is the point of this video? Is it just to get them to laugh? Is it to give them a helpful tip? So think where you want to, if you started on right here on one side, where do you want them to end? And make sure you direct them right to that end spot so they can cross the finish line with you.
I love that. And like you said, on the ad side, you can add those end call to actions to be able to go further. And like you mentioned on the organic side, sometimes it's a great way to be able to get the feedback from your audience. So to say, hey, drop a comment of what your favorite blah is, and then people can learn and see what those people are resonating with and who's listening. I see a lot of creators do that all the time. Comment your favorite whatever, or comment if you saw this, comment done, and gets the audience involved. As a human, I think we do kind of like a structured life where we're like, what's next? What can I do? How can I contribute? How can I be a part of this message that I just watched? And instead of just consuming it, but how can I say that I've seen this so they can see me back, is really like that validation. And I think that's where that call to action comes from, is as a person watching, we want to feel like we were involved in a way. So we want to take action. And so I think that's a really important thing, and you do see that missed a ton from a lot of people. So that's a really, really strong tip, and a great one. We think call to action all the time as a marketing perspective, but you don't. I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe on TikTok you think, how do I go about that, and you miss that mark. So I think those are great tips. By the way, like, this episode is just so valuable and crucial for not only a brand listening on how to make ads, but you really could take these tips as a creator yourself and be able to adjust them into your own videos to be able to get your message out. Because at the end of the day, no matter who we are, we're all a personal brand. So being able to use this to our own advantage is so powerful.
Absolutely. And many times we're actually using their best performing organic videos as ads because
Right.
it's really a great test ground to see, okay, what is resonating with the audience? And then the ads give you a few more tools you're able to use, like putting a call to action at the end, to really direct the audience where you want to go. But yes, if you take these tips, they will improve any video you're doing for organic or ads, and then you just tweak it based off of where you want to go with it.
And
Yeah.
they
Are
can
these
also be used for creators that are maybe haven't worked with brands so much, or they're kind of potentially getting their first brand deal and just want some kind of background on where to start or get different ideas on how to make an ad for the brand.
That's really good. I love that you brought that up. It's really important for I give this tip all the time to creators who are like, how do I get like more ads for myself? And I say, well, look and see what top brands that you see on your For You page, the ads that are working really well, or creators who are doing it really well. Look and see what they're doing and incorporate that within your own strategy. So that way you can get a brand's attention, that you can hit these key things that a brand needs to see. Because a creator and a brand are different. They have to synergize together, and a brand really wants to see these these like very structured things. Like they want to see a call to action, they want to see a return. So as a creator, like you said, it's really important to learn these things that a brand is looking for to be able to bring that and show that you can hit these things. Um, no, so that's really powerful. I appreciate that. You guys, like, I don't want to take up a lot of your time this afternoon because you've really inundated us with so much awesome knowledge. And the cool thing is, this is a podcast episode, so you could rewind it, start it over, and constantly listen to these 9 tips because they're going to really make your content better for a brand or your organic reach or anything like that. So, Joel, Sam, I thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
Awesome. And I love to plug in. This is now your time to literally self-promote the hell out of yourself. Where can people find you? How can they work with you? Tell us where to go.
Yeah, thank you. So there's 2 places you can find us. One is on our podcast where we focus specifically on TikTok marketing, and that's the TikTok Marketing Podcast. You can find that on Apple and Spotify.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any podcasting network will be there.
And
Awesome.
the second being, if you're interested in working with us, you can find us at TikTalkMarketingAgency.com. That's TikTalk marketingagency.com. We are happy. We're always looking for new clients, and we specialize, just like Joel said, we kind of have a couple different buckets in organic, we got influencer marketing, and we got paid. And we're happy to give you more information there.
Awesome. And the fun thing about this episode, you guys, is we're doing a collaboration approach. So you can listen to me on the TikTok Marketing Agency's podcast as well, coming up whenever that releases. And again, these are the hosts of, TikTok Marketing Podcast that you can listen here. And I appreciate you guys a lot for taking the time to be able to do this, because this is a lot of fun for being able to talk about more of the creator side that I bring, working with creators, and you guys working with the brand side. So we've learned so much. And anybody who's listening, I made it very easy for you can find all the links directly to be able to reach out to the TikTok Marketing Agency to get your questions answered or want to work with them. It's in the description notes of this episode, so you'll be able to easily navigate over there and click that and go fill out a contact form so they can reach out to you. So again, Sam and Joel, thank you so much for your time today. It has been awesome, and this is a fantastic episode.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having us. Yeah, great time being on the show.
Thanks, guys.